It is Kirsten Liebelt. Good to see you. It's Monday morning. OMG. How do the weekends go by so freaking fast? Like it is crazy. It's like wham, and they're just gone. It's Monday again. So good morning, you guys. It's so good to see you. If you do not know who I am, if you've never seen any of my content, which is highly likely, put a 1 in the comment. I would love to know who I am talking with today. My name is Kirsten Liebelt, and I live in Minnesota, and I have like all of my life, with the exception of like 8 years in the 90s. We lived in the Black Hills of South Dakota. But I was raised in an Italian family. And actually, funny story, my dad was 100% Italian. My mom was 100% Swedish. And so yesterday we actually had a Swedish side of the family reunion. The food is very different than when we have an Italian reunion, which we did last August. OMG, just saying. Anyway, and so I grew up with a lot of different like amazing food with the Italian family, and there was a lot of obesity and type 2 diabetes. My dad ended up dying of type 2 at 63, so super young. And this has driven me to find answers. Like, why was he like on all of these medications and then dead at 63? Like, hello, don't medicines help you and all these things? And the answer is no, that's not their role. Their role is not to heal or to turn back anything. So I went on my own journey to figure it out. And you have to understand that my insulin resistance started really, really young. The title today, by the way, just to let you know, the title today is that I had the most amazing testimony come my way. I think it was on Saturday. One of my clients, she's 71 years old. Like, if you needed some hope for today, if you needed some hope, here you go. Here you go. Silver platter. Here you go. 71 years old. And in just under 8 weeks, she's lost now 22 pounds. And I'm going to tell you exactly what she did to reset her body from the inside out. Like, this is really cool. Good morning, Terry. You're making keto chocolate chip cookies from Carolyn Ketchum's recipe while listening. Yum. Would you mind sending me that recipe, Terry? Because I don't know what that is at all. I would love to know what that is. Thank you so much for that. And if you don't, that's okay. Don't worry about it. If you have it readily available, that would be great, but no worries. But having been raised inside of this universe of Italian food, type 2 everywhere, like people, good morning, Patty, people everywhere just not like living their best life because of sickness. And I'll tell you, this insulin resistance conversation, it steals from you. It's stealing from you. It's stealing your function. It's stealing your energy. It's stealing your memories. It's stealing your self-esteem when it comes to your weight. Like, this is kind of, how I wanted to. Good morning, Lori. Good to see you. Oh, thank you, Terry. I would love that. I would so love that. Have you ever looked at a photo? Okay, yesterday we looked at all these photos. Let's dive into some content. We looked at, people brought albums, right, of our history, of our family's history. It was amazing. It was just amazing. Have you ever looked at a photo from a family event and immediately wished that you could untag yourself? Have you ever felt that way? I would love to know. You can always put me in the comments. Or maybe you avoid the camera altogether. Like, yesterday I was taking pictures because, this is a big deal, right? This literally was a Swedish family reunion at my sister's home. We had somebody fly in from California, somebody from Washington State, somebody from Missouri. Like, this was a big deal, right? And so I'm going to take pictures because, well, there's quite the elderly generation. My mother already passed. She was 94. So you can imagine, right? And then of course their children and their grandchildren. So I'm taking pictures and I can see people diving out of my line of sight because, right? We don't maybe want the camera on us. Maybe we are hiding behind our kids or our grandkids in photos because we don't want to be seen, with maybe the size that we are, because maybe we have shame around that, right? But wishing that your body felt like home again, like your body doesn't feel like where did she go? and that's why this testimony today is so dang important. So if you've ever felt like that, then this story today is for you. It's literally for you. And I feel like I want to build this up around, oh, Patty. Yep. I know. It's very common. Like we've got the pillows on our laps, or we're hiding, we're only half of us behind something, et cetera, right? We all know this. We all share the same thought process. And I'll tell you, for me, here I was growing up in an obese family with people were very large. I mean, I had aunts on my Italian side that were very obese, very obese. Thank you for the liking. Thank you. Who's on here? Who's giving me the gifting badge? Annie, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for following. You're amazing. So these very large, they were my great aunts. And I just remember as a little kid, because, they were my great aunts. So I don't remember them much older than being little. I just remember looking up kind of like, and, I could see how large their arms were, et cetera. This was very common in my family, right? And so my mother, who was Swedish, who they didn't eat like the Italians. However, because she married one, she ended up eating similarly, right, with all the food, et cetera. And so she struggled with her weight. And I know she just hated that about herself very much, because her mother was always very slender. And she didn't like it at all. But then she kind of passed down that disappointment and shame to us around our weight and our size. So if you've ever felt that way, will you just know that you're not alone? Like, this is very common for us to feel shame about our size or about our weight. It comes from society, but it also comes from like just our internal family. So my mother always had this look of disappointment about our size. And so I always put on TikTok my before and after picture. So on TikTok, you can see I was a 2X when I entered my 50s. That was like my whole life. I was only skinny a couple of times in my life, let me tell you. It wasn't very much. And both of them weren't the healthiest ways of losing weight. But my point being that when you start with your insulin resistance in your 20s, I was gestational diabetic with my first baby, and then you don't do anything about it until your upper 40s. Like, when you finally decide that you're going to do something about it, sometimes you have to deal with that mental piece too, right? So this method that I have put together is literally the reduction of my journey. This is my journey. So I started right at a little, like, upper 40s, and I entered my 50s looking like this with I was a size 2X. And I finally decided that I have to deal with, all these things, because my mother would not leave me alone about my sugars, because my dad died of type 2 diabetes when I was 30. So she's really on me about it, and I decided to change it. And so this method, I call it the FIRE method. This is what I have gone through in order to get the results. And I just wanted to give you somebody who literally duplicated what I am talking about in the last 8 weeks. This is basically what she did. Okay. So when I tell you I only teach 2 things, I want you to know that there are not 1,000 steps to success on this. This is simple in concept. Your hardest piece is probably going to be the E of the FIRE method, which is going to be empowered mindset. Okay, but let's start with this. So she started with food first. Now, I did not, my story. I thought I would never trade out of food because I'm Italian. So I started with supplementation. However, she started out with food. So this is what she did. She completely overhauled her diet. She tracked her response using a continuous glucose monitor. Like, this is amazing. This is so good. And she said it was very empowering for her to see what food does to your blood sugar in real time. Okay, now I never did that. Glucose monitors were not available to me 10 years ago. This was not a common conversation, but insulin resistance has just exploded, like boom. And it's like, here we are, 2025. Who's not insulin resistant? Who doesn't have fatty liver? Who doesn't have high blood pressure? Who doesn't have, like, all of the different pieces, the belly fat and the exhaustion, and you can't sleep, and it's all insulin resistance. Remember, it's the tree of the trunk. Okay. So she overhauls her diet. She puts the CGM on her arm, I assume. And, she is using that to help her to know how she is spiking her sugars. Okay. So the F and FIRE is for food first. So here, what she's doing is she is literally understanding that food is information for her body. These are my words, but food is information for your body. Okay. And when you start to cut sugar and you stabilize your blood glucose, that is literally foundational to what you have to do. So this is why I'm not a proponent of any kind of a program that tells you can still keep eating whatever you want. Like, you're not learning how to fish. You're not getting a long-term solution. You're not turning back what's going on inside of your engine. Inside of your engine. Like, come on, you detail your car, but you won't detail your body. Like, we have to get from the root cause. We have to talk cellular, inside out, hormonal, inside out. That's what we're doing here. She was a very self-professed sugar junkie. That was me. I was a major sugar junkie. Major. Like, when I was in my 30s, you guys, my idea of a good time was, because I homeschooled my kids. And on Sundays, you just want a break, right? So we would go to church and then we would come home and it was nap time, and then read the Sunday paper and eat like snack size. I was looking for that word, snack size Snicker bars. Like, you get a bag of snack size Snicker bars and you snack on something sugary, you read the paper, and you take a long Sunday afternoon nap like you're hibernating. Now, a lot of this was actually modeled to me by my mother. So I took a lot of naps she took a lot of naps on Sundays. And then she would say, you can't go see your friends, because she was going to relax and take a nap, right? So she didn't want to have to worry about where we were in the neighborhood. But my point being that I then just repeated that. So to say that I was a sugar junkie is really an understatement. I mean, it started young, very young. But anyway, so she says I was a total sugar junkie. The second thing she did was she actually started with then the I is the insulin smart supplementation. So this is where I started everything, because I did not believe I could trade out my food. So I was like, well, okay, here we go. I'll just cross my fingers and hope that taking supplements helps. Just like in my 30s, sure, I'll go buy that Metabolife off the shelf at Walmart, like anything, right? I'll just do anything because we just want a pill. Well, little did I understand that they were insulin smart, like it was helping my insulin. And I don't know if you know this or not, but if your insulin is high or your liver is tired, you can't burn fat. Both of those things have to be addressed. So most everyone is running around with high insulin because their cell is resistant to insulin, getting the glucose into it for energy. And so the insulin is high because your body's going to keep making more. And until you deal with this cell, this universe, this cell right here that is resistant, until you deal with this from a cellular level, what you going to do? It's really a challenge, right? And then we wonder why our bellies are getting bigger and why we can't lose any weight. And then our body composition changes so much because our belly stays big. And then maybe our legs get really skinny, or we lose our butt. We get a pancake butt. This is all body composition changing because of the insulin resistance, et cetera. That's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, so she did the total body reset. Now, I'm always telling you guys, number one, the first thing that I ever talk to you guys about usually is the trio. Those are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. She added to that. You do not have to add to that if you don't want to. You can just start with the trio, those 3 supplements. You can always reach out to me and say trio, and I know exactly what you mean. I'll get you the cart. You can just look at it. But the point being that that's where I started, and that all by itself helped me to lose 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped. I didn't have the other 2 pieces of the total body reset. They didn't exist when I was going through this 10 years ago. Okay. So don't feel bad if you're only starting with the trio. Now, she did do all 3 components so that she's 71 and she just lost 22 pounds under 8 weeks. 8 weeks. Like, her life is going in a direction she appreciates, right? So the trio so she did the gut primer. I'll just show them to you quickly, and then I can run through them later too. But the gut primer and the probiotic, this is what is helping to rebalance her digestion and reduce her inflammation in her gut. If you do not have a gallbladder, if you have short gut syndrome, if you have constipation, if you have diarrhea, if you have IBS, if you have Crohn's, if you have things like that, I'm not telling you it's going to heal anything. because I can't make those claims, right? And I'm not a doctor, but I will tell you that the 6 different blends that are in here, the testimonies are amazing. It does not taste like cookie dough. It does not taste like a chocolate milkshake. I wish it did. It tastes more like tea with a little bit of ginger, turmeric tea taste. And then I just take it in cold, cold water, like out of my fridge cold, like a wellness shot every single morning. And again, such incredible results just by this gut reset by itself. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. So the probiotics to help balance digestion and reduce inflammation, the gut primer, literally, if I were to use the word heal, which I know is maybe a no-no, think in terms of healing and sealing your gut, because insulin resistance creates leaky gut. Okay. And then the Pixie Stick, this is the fat burner, you guys. This is the visceral fat burner. All of these can be together like that. That's total body reset, or separate, whatever. But that is how it targets the visceral fat. It's the dangerous fat around your organs. So if you've been diagnosed with fatty liver, and we don't want that active fat. It's literally active. It's emitting hormones and it's emitting inflammation into our body. That's what visceral fat does. Okay. So it's underneath what you can pinch, and it's not healthy at all. It's a big issue, actually. So it's that little orange powder that tastes like candy that I talk about. I just started my backup again today. Makes me happy. You do 90 days, take 30 days off, because it's a thermogenic and you don't want your body to get used to it. But it works deep in the body, especially on that stubborn, dangerous visceral fat. So that's the I, insulin smart supplementation. But then you know what? You get to the root causes. Now I'm trying to remember, I think she was a pediatric nurse. She's been a pediatric nurse her career. And she said, I just didn't know, right? So she, stumbled upon my content or whatever, and then gained some information. And then he jumped in with both feet off the deep end to change what she had not understood. So even with a background in nursing, she didn't fully understand adult metabolic health. Okay. And most of us do not. So don't feel bad, because we're not taught it. I wonder why. We're given the worst information from the medical community. I hate to say that, but it's true. So insulin resistance, inflammation, poor gut health, they often go very unnoticed because we are taught to only look at the scale and blood sugar. And this is not the formula. The scale and your blood sugar are not the formula. You have to go deeper than that. They should have been able to catch your insulin resistance years and decades before it ever rose in your blood sugar. But they didn't, because they didn't pull a fasting insulin test. Just like with me, I've never had a fasting insulin test that way. Never. So her continuous glucose monitor showed normal sugars. I probably forgot to tell you that. Her CGM was showing normal sugars, and she couldn't figure out why then. Why was she having issues if they were normal? But her body composition scale told her the real story. So she went out and she got a different kind of a scale. And that actually helped her to see what was going on inside when it came to BMI, visceral fat, et cetera. And then she could see what was going on. It wasn't just the number, the weight number, because that could be weighing your water weight, your muscle, your impacted waist. Like you could be going up and down 3 pounds just because you need to have a bowel movement. And we're like emotionally freaked out because our scale told us to be freaked out. Like, this is just ridiculous. And we're so indoctrinated, you guys, it's very ingrained inside of us. I get it. I'm not confused. Like, we started this very, very, very a long time ago. I started to be bribed about my weight when I was 11 years old. Anybody else out there? Anybody? Like, the number on the scale was the most important thing, but she went further than that. So she thought she was doing fine until she saw the muscle to fat ratio. And that's kind of a lot of what opened her eyes. All right. So the last one, and that's root causes, really trying to find out what is going on. Why can't you lose a pound to save your life? Why does your blood sugar look normal, but you can tell something's not right because you're not able to move the needle at all in your results? I mean, it's very, very frustrating. So hold on. So good morning, Phyllis from Arkansas. Amazing how parallel our lives were. Your mother was after me all the time up to her death. Yep. Oh, good to see you, Jan. Terry, yep, 11 years old. you guys. It just, the cultural embedded message, it's so strong. It's so strong. My uncles had these big barrel bellies, type 2 for sure, right? Like not healthy at all. These big, hard barrel bellies, and they would all stand around and talk about their 32-inch waist, ho, 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 because they had their belt under their big belly, right? And this was very common, but the women were very much told that they were supposed to, like, practically kill themselves to lose weight and figure it out. And so just think about 50 years ago, 40 years ago, when we were like, they had the little AIDS, they had like those AIDS candies, and they had, the diet things that have been geared towards women all of these years. And yet here we are 40 years later, we are fatter than we've ever been. We are sicker than we've ever been. We are more medicated than we've ever been. And we're still getting the exact same answers. They haven't changed the message. Don't we think they should change the message? Maybe the message needs to change. So that's why if you look at things through the lens of insulin resistance, I promise you, your life will get better. I can't promise you the exact results, because I'm going to tell you, your testimonies that you send to me, they're all different and very specific for your world. Some of you just finally, like, you don't have as much brain fog and you're so happy because you can actually function like within, a few days, a few weeks, like you're like happy about that. Some of you are just dropping pounds because your body finally, you're bringing that insulin down and you're finally able to release fat. Like, that's amazing. So the last piece of this thought process is empowered mindset and encouragement. So here she is, 71 years old. And she's not my only testimony in her 70s, not even close, which is so exciting, because maybe by the time you're 70, you think that's it. Like, I've tried all my life. If anybody's metabolism is slow, it's mine attitude, right? And all you've ever been told is to eat less and move more, maybe count some points, maybe eat in a calorie deficit only. So you're eating the biscotti, or the, like, if I'm going to talk like, the Swedes yesterday, all the, honestly, the desserts were so fun because they were my upbringing. They were like, people brought rhubarb crisp, and they brought, like, the little almond cookies and things like that, that I'm sure it crosses barriers nationality wise, but you're thinking that only the calories matter. So how much calories are in this little cookie that I'm going to dunk in my coffee? And you're thinking calories, because maybe your mom started in that TOPS program all those years ago, where every week you weigh in, and then maybe it was WW, right? Every week you just weigh in. It's all about weighing, scale. And nobody has ever had the conversation with you that if your insulin is high, you will not lose a pound. This is really hard. You can't burn fat because your insulin is going to choose the sugar for fuel every day of the week and twice on Sundays. So when you eat food that spikes your sugars, your insulin is released to go gobble up the sugar and bring it into your cell. But when your cell is resistant, your pancreas releases more insulin, thinking it didn't do a good enough job, high inflammation, and then it takes all the extra glucose and it stores it as fat. This is why you end up with a fatty liver diagnosis. This is why you end up with visceral fat in general diagnosis. This is why you get the belly that you can't seem to get rid of. So you have to reverse engineer what you did to get back to where you want to be. And can you reclaim your youthful body and shape and size? Yes. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. 100%. Is it going to happen super fast overnight by Saturday for the event? Probably not. But your body was designed to heal. And this is the mindset you have to have in order to move forward. You have to be like, I'm giving myself permission to go on this journey. I'm giving myself permission to actually begin to heal and seal my gut. I'm giving myself permission to finally be able to, like, feel good, and not worry about what I have to make food for everybody else or what everybody else thinks about what I eat or don't eat or fill in the blank. Like you have to be intentional. Food pushers, no thank you. Food bullies, no thank you. You have to be like intentional about allowing yourself to journey. You are worthy. You are deserving, because don't you understand? It's the whole oxygen mask concept. If you will just take a half a freaking second and put on your own oxygen mask, don't you think that gives me more energy to be able to? I had my 3 grandsons on Friday night. We went to, and they're 4, 2, and 1. So they're a little bit of energy. We went to Costco. I ran into Walmart. We came back to our apartment. We had food. We went swimming. We did all of the things. Don't you think I want to have energy to be with my grandbabies? So don't you understand, by you taking care of yourself, and it's the same thing within your ability to dream. If you don't feel good and you don't have energy and you just feel like trash all the time, how am I going to think about? So, because we're right in the middle of real estate transactions, right? So, took care of my mom with dementia. We sold our place to go take care of my mom. It had to accommodate her first floor living, yada, yada. She passes away and the volume is not there in the real estate market. So this is why we're where we are right now. But I'm 60. I have a whole nother life to live. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, I'm not thinking about retiring, even though this is like what I do. So there is no retirement because I love what I do. But I'm just saying, like, no, like I want land for the grandbabies and I want, but if I don't feel good, if I don't have mental clarity, if I have brain fog all the time and I wake up and I feel like trash and I don't give myself the permission and the priority, then they might lose their Nona young. Like my kids lost their grandpa. They were 6'3" and 6 months old. They lost all of the memories and the history with their Italian grandpa gone. They have none of that. So do your family, your children, your grandchildren a favor and take care of yourself. And so having a track to run on, having a direction, hit your wagon to somebody who's done it before you. If you want find somebody who has what you want and then copy them. Okay. So I lost 3 sizes in my 50s after my cycle stopped. I'm the only person in my family immediate family who avoided type 2 diabetes. I'm 60 and I'm not on any meds. I wake up and I don't ache. I have energy. I feel good. I'm still a foodie, even though I'm Italian. I just traded out my pantry. So if you know that you have a track to run on, doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that feel good to be able to do that? So it doesn't matter if you are 41, you're 51, you're 61, it's never too late. And that's what she said. She literally said she is now sleeping better. She has more energy. She's enjoying taking care of herself. She's enjoying taking care of herself, maybe for the first time in decades. And she just said, it's never too late at 71. So you could be 41, 51, 61, wondering why, if your body can change. Like, am I at a dead end or can it change? And not just your body, but your joy, your confidence, your mindset. You can have all of that back. If you're wondering, like, where did she go, meaning the older version of yourself, like, you can resurrect her. You really can, but it does take a few steps, right? So if this stirs something inside of you, if you're like, that's me, I need my summer to be different. Like, she lost 22 pounds in less than 8 weeks. Like, where are you 8 weeks from now? Oh man, I'm about to sneeze. I'm not going to do it though. I took it back. So in less than 8 weeks, where are we then? The 4th of July, probably a little beyond that now. I don't know where my calendar, thought process is in my brain. But the point being that, everybody has something that's on the calendar all year long. It doesn't end, whether it is the 4th of July or a family reunion or somebody's getting married. I have somebody who, her grandson's getting married in October. So she's got goals. let's do it, and after October comes Thanksgiving and Christmas. So there's always something on the calendar that you want to look better for, you want to feel better for, maybe you want to be able to have different clothes for it. Maybe you want to not have to hide behind people in pictures. So her story is a result of, and this just came to me, like I said, I think it was Saturday morning. I woke up to this text. It was Saturday morning. And I was just like, it just gave me goosebumps because I almost resigned myself to my obesity and my direction of health, or I should say declining health, at like 37. Can you imagine that I almost succumbed to that mindset at 37, and now here I am at 60. So don't think you can't do it too. So for her, it was the total body reset. You can always reach out to me on Facebook and on TikTok, on Facebook and YouTube. You can put, like reset in the comments, and I will see that and I can help you out with that. With Instagram and TikTok, you have to get into my messages, but I will briefly just show you. So it is starting with the trio, the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. You could only start with this and be just fine, right? All 3 of these components you could choose separately. She did all of them to get accelerated results. So it's up to you and what you're looking for. This is where I started a little over 10 years ago. Okay. Literally helping, not magic beans that grow, tall bean stalks into the sky. No, let's deal with let's bring down sugars and insulin. Let's get your liver to function at a higher level because it literally is your fat metabolizing organ. Let's boost your metabolism. Okay, let's do the things that actually, like if you took your car to a mechanic. And then when it comes to the gut reset protocol, that is the greens product that has 6 products in one. 6, not just one. That's why the results are so good, because it's not just a greens product. It's fermented greens and alkaline spices, digestive enzymes, all the good things, and a good probiotic, because you need live strains in your body to recalibrate your microbiome. And then it's the fat burning pixie stick. And this one, you do 90 days on, take 30 days off. And it's literally like orange candy, like you remember as a child. You put it on your tongue, just like this, 90 days in a row, and then take 30 days off. And it's the inches that people are losing. That is so phenomenal. It took me a long time to promote this product because number one, I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to spike sugar. So I had somebody test it. And number two, I was really excited about the results that I was getting, even though I didn't measure myself when I first started. And I didn't want to overhype. I've put a lot of thought and intention into my content over the years. And we have been very specifically honed in on insulin resistance now for 2 years. And there is a Facebook group called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. But I have to, walk with credibility with you to make sure that what I offer you is very specific towards insulin sensitivity and that it's not going to take you backwards. So I sent it off and I had somebody test it, et cetera. And because with CGM, and I wanted to make sure that I was not like jazz hands, look at this and, whatever. I was just being very sensitive towards that. But now I can't deny the results that people are getting. I just can't. The inches that are being lost, it's amazing. And it really does what it says it does. And it says it targets visceral fat. It changes your BMI. So that means that you can change your body composition. And I want you to understand what that means. I understand, I'll wrap up with this thought. At the beginning of this live, we talked about the scale and how the scale, we've been indoctrinated to believe that the scale is the best measurement of success with our bodies changing. But the truth is that you can lose weight and have a weird body composition because maybe you did it an unhealthy way, or you did it in a way that wasn't dealing with your core root causes. And I don't know if that resonates with anybody, like you lose the weight, but you don't look like you did when you were younger. I don't know, is that resonating with anybody? It may not be, but these are the things that I think about. And the reason why would be like last August, when I started to take the pixie stick. And I thought to myself, I just had this limiting belief that my hips, how your hips, across your rear, like you feel like you get older and your hips just get wider, whatever. And you feel like maybe you can't change your hips. I don't know. This is probably just me, you guys. Like, just track with me, okay? Just laugh at me, laugh with me. It's okay. But I just thought, well, that's going to be because I'm a hippier person, and I thought, well, that's just the way that's going to be. Like, maybe I can, lose lose inches like right here at my waist or under my bust, but my hips, whatever. But no, that began to decrease, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I did not think that was going to happen. But it says basically your waist and your hips. But I didn't even believe what they were saying until you guys started to send me your testimonies of how many inches that you've lost. So if you do this for 30 days, and one box is 30 days, and you could do this all by itself if you want to, for sure. But one box, probably about like an inch. So get yourself a measuring tape, about an inch. But it's the 90-day run that people start to see multiple inches off of the areas. And then take 30 days off and tell your body, don't you be getting used to that thermogenic, because we're going to do another round. So that's what we want. We don't want your body getting used to it so that it stops losing inches. So anyway, all right, I'm going to let you guys go. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., I will be back again. We'll talk about insulin resistance again. But if you do need to have a different view of what you could, where you could be in 90 days, don't sabotage. That's a part of the mindset too. Don't self-sabotage, and not reach out if you feel stirred to reach out. Don't stop yourself. It's just information. There's no pressure. Like, that would be ridiculous. But I'm just saying, like, don't stop yourself from at least getting information. Wouldn't we all agree that good information and knowledge is never a disadvantage? Can't we agree on that? It's never a disadvantage. So just reach out and go, you know what, I'm kind of curious, but I might want to only do 1 or 2 components, or I want to do all 3 components, or whatever it is, and whatever your goals are and wherever you are in your health. And just always know that you are deserving of your story changing, you changing your own narrative for not only yourself, but for your family, your kids, your friends, everybody around you. Not one of us, and I'm pretty sure I can say this, probably, I can't imagine. If you're on my content, I have to believe that there is not one of us that is looking to be taken care of in our elderly years by our family, because we have so many health issues we can't function. I believe that you are probably listening to me because you actually you're motivated to take control of your health. You are motivated to change your story no matter your age. And that is such a beautiful thing. And you're not going to wait anymore for insurance to cover supplementation. Like, well, we might just perish with that one. I mean, that's not going to happen. They prescribe you scripts for a reason. And that's its own journey. And there are some issues that you can't turn around anymore. Okay. And what I mean by that is sometimes you are given some scripts that you will have to be on for the rest of your life, like a blood thinner that keeps you from taking certain herbs and things like that. You can't take other things. But if you can turn around your root causes now, maybe you won't have those issues later, right? I hope you can track with that. So have such an amazing day. And I can't wait to get off and chat with you guys in my messages, inbox on Messenger, inbox on Instagram. You can hit me up on TikTok. We just have to, like, if you want me to send you anything, we have to go somewhere else. So other than that, and YouTube, you can always leave messages. Have a great day, you guys. Love you. Take care of yourselves today. Okay. Do it. You can do